My name is Bill Gray. I am the CEO of Velkess, and I'm totally delighted to have been invited to talk with you guys about energy storage and the critical importance of energy storage for decarbonizing the electrical system. When we talk about decarbonization, we're really talking about the promotion of clean energies. And when we think about the electrical system and how incredibly fundamental it is to our economy and the huge size of the industry that it represents, really changing the fundamental fabric of the way that system works is a project that I think is akin, I've heard the analogy already today, to moving mountains. For better or for worse, moving mountains is something that we are entirely capable of doing today. This is a copper mine in Utah, and this is literally a mountain that has been entirely disassembled and moved someplace else. And when we think about the forces that are required to do that, we can think about bulldozers and explosives and dump trucks and things like that, but really what we're talking about here is the profit motive. 3 or 5 people sitting in a room looking at a spreadsheet came to the decision that destroying this mountain was going to profit them. And once they'd come to that decision, pretty much everything else was just logistics. The fate of that mountain was sealed. The profit motive is really, I think, one of the absolutely most powerful forces that we have in humanity today. There's been a tremendous amount of work that has been done to reduce the cost of clean energy, really fantastic work. The really interesting thing, and we heard about solar being so cheap today, but wind has been cheaper than coal energy for quite some time already. And so the question remains, why is the world not awash in windmills, and why would anybody in their right mind be building another coal-fired power plant? Next slide, please. And when we look at that, we've really got to look at the revenue side, not the cost side of the equation. It turns out that all of the clean energy technologies that are available today, wind, solar, tidal, geothermal, even commercial nuclear, they're completely incapable of increasing and decreasing their output of energy to meet variable demand for energy. And the timing and the availability of that energy is absolutely critical. To sort of color that point a little bit, next slide please, I'd like to take us back to a point in history when wind power was overwhelmingly dominant in the world. Sailing vessels were completely dominant in global commerce, they were completely dominant in warfare, but as you all know, steam-powered, coal-powered steamships really completely took over. During that transition period, the whole time, it was cheaper to build a wind-powered vessel, it was cheaper to operate a wind-powered vessel, and the top speed of wind-powered vessels were higher than steamships. So why would anybody want a steamship? And the answer is, if you got onto a coal-powered steamship in New York, you were pretty sure you were going to be getting to the coast of England in 2 to 3 weeks. If you were getting onto a wind-powered vessel, the timing of your arrival was at the mercy of the heavens. Next slide. And time is money. So when we're talking about running our economy on clean energy, we're really talking about having to take the arbitrary output of these clean energy sources and turn that into the arbitrary demand curve of customers. And the way that we do that is, next slide, energy storage. We can use energy storage to absorb energy when it's available and then supply energy when it's desired. And that is absolutely critical. So getting the energy storage part of this equation and finding a solution that at reasonable cost, if we can do that, if we can bring the cost of energy storage down, then the profitability of fossil fuels is going to completely disappear. And the full force of the profit motive will be driving this revolution forward, the clean energy revolution forward. If we're not able to get some low-cost energy storage solutions in place, then fossil fuels are always going to be more valuable than clean energy, and I'm not sure decarbonization is ever really fully going to happen. Next slide. The issue with energy storage is cost. We have a lot of terrific technologies, lithium-ion batteries, et cetera, that are able to store energy really effectively, but they all cost too much. You just can't pay the mortgage on a $3 million battery that stores $45 worth of electricity. It just doesn't pencil out. And this is why I have dedicated myself and my company to the commercialization of a new, radically cheaper energy storage technology. Thank you.